Greetings, everyone. I'm John Murphy, and today we're going to review the 8 disciplines as depicted in the Myers-Briggs type indicator, and then put the first 2 letters of your 4-letter type together and play around with what are often referred to as organizational tendencies. All right, the organizational tendencies. So as we put the different letters together as depicted in your type, there are different dynamics. All right, so when we put introversion together with intuition, we get something very different than when we put introversion together with sensing. All right, the IS or the IN. The same is true with extroversion. When we put extroversion or E together with sensing, we get a different dynamic than when we put E together with intuition. All right, so essentially there are 4 organizational tendencies derived from the first 2 letters of the 4 letters of your type. So let's review that. There are 8 disciplines in all: extroversion and introversion, E and I, sensing and intuition, S and N, thinking and feeling, T and F, and judging and perceiving, J and P. So today we're not going to talk about thinking and feeling and judging and perceiving at all. We're just going to start with the first 2 categories: introversion, extroversion, sensing, intuition. So we have 4 different dynamics: ES and EN, IS and IN. All right. So let's talk about the IS first, the introverted sensing type. Now, if this is you, it tends to mean that you want to think things through, be a little more cautious as opposed to just jumping in and taking a risk. Perhaps a little more quiet, contemplative, reflective. That's the introversion. And when we couple that with sensing, the S, the 5 senses, I want facts, I want details, I want specifics, we get into an organizational tendency which is summarized by saying, let's keep it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's keep it and master it. Let's get really good at what is. So we have depth around the immediate facts and specifics. A lot of accountants, for example, are IS personality types. Let's just focus on the data and let's get it right. So this is a great reality check for any personality type to work with IS personality types to stay grounded in facts and details and get really good at whatever it is you do. Now, if we just take the IS and switch to ES, so now we have an extroverted sensing type. We get a little bit different dynamic. Rather than let's keep it, it's more about let's get it done. So whatever it is, let's get it done. It's more action-oriented. That's the extroversion coming in. It's still about the practical and the matter of fact and the sensing details. But now it's about let's get it done. All right? Now we go to intuition, the introverted intuitive and the extroverted intuitive, another different dynamic. So the introverted intuitive, which only represents about 4% of the entire population, so only 4% are INs, introverted intuitives. I almost like to call this like the Einstein Quadrant because it's very much about ideas, deep thinking. Okay, so the IN is about thinking things through, but in a very right-brained, intuitive, creative, exploratory way. So the IN can be summarized by let's study it. Okay, it's let's really dig into it and explore it. All right, now that's very different than let's keep it, and it's very different than let's get it done. Slow down, let's study it. Now you can begin to see how the dynamics in a team could really result in some tension. But all of these are so important. There's a time to study it, there's a time to keep it, there's a time to change it, and there's a time to get it done. So let's go to the let's change it combination. The let's change it is the extroverted intuitive. This is your built-in continuous improvement. You know, if it ain't broke, break it, figure out how it broke, and then come up with a way so that it can't break. This is what is called poka-yoke or mistake proofing. Poka-yoke is a Japanese term for mistake proofing. So let's continue to change whatever it is we do in search of a better way. All right, so it's the action speaking through the extroversion, action orientation, but also now applying the intuitive side, all right, the right brain. So this is your action-oriented creative type, if you will. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs are in the EN category, all right? They're risk takers, they're explorers, they're adventurers, they're pioneers, if you will, all right? So we put these dynamics together, and this is just the first 2 letters of your 4-letter type, and it helps us to understand just the different tensions that might exist in a team environment. But the wise leader also realizes that we need healthy tension, all right, so that we don't end up hurting ourselves, all right? The EN that doesn't have a reality check could make a lot of costly mistakes, okay? The IN that doesn't have somebody challenging them to, okay, we got to make a decision and we got to execute, we got to act, could end up just in a think tank and never get anything done, all right? The ES could get it done quickly, but it is not effective. It's like being really good at a 6 Sigma floppy disk. Who wants that anymore? All right, we've got to continue to think outside the box and innovate. And the IS can, dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure things are accurate. And at the same time, whatever it is that we're doing is always subject to challenge in a competitive world. So we want to continue to explore, to think things through, to make sure we have our facts straight, and that we have good data, we have good analysis, and then get it done. So those are the 4 organizational tendencies as depicted in the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. I'll continue to explore different dynamics as we go forward. That's it for today and this video clip. I'm John Murphy. I'm here to help. God bless.